Dengeki Bunko's video of the day. Hi. It's Takeshi here. And yes, it is the time of the month again. Today, I'll be unveiling the latest releases on Dengeki Bunko August light novels. These releases are all new and ongoing with new stories to unveil. Most of them were highly recommended, so do check it out. And with that, let's check out the lineup right now. First in the lineup, is the spin-off of the popular Mahuka series, Mahuka Kuku no Ratusiai, Yoru no Tobari ni Yami wa Hiramiku by the duo Tsutomu Sato, Kana Ishida. The story tells the twins of Ayako Kuroba and Fumiya enrolled into Magic University. At the time when Tatsuya was just 18. As a rare Mahuka reader, it's really nice to see more side characters gets the spotlight, rather than just having the main character gets the forefront of the story. The atmosphere of the story this is quite vibrant and futuristic. Like living in a Neo-Tokyo vibes. Although, Tatsuya and the gang, especially Miyuki, was just being in a cameo appearance, the story is still focused on the twins of Kuroba, which is really a deserving to read for. If you are an avid Mahuka reader or a fan, this new story should be definitely worth to check it out. Next in line, in the new novel from the popular idol franchise, Nijigasaki Gakuen School Idol Club Guren no Kenheim Flame Sword Princess by Yusaku Igarashi. The story tells a tale of Nijigasaki members idolized Setsuna Yuki, so they decided to do a short mini-film about her. With the amount of everything the franchise has did, especially with TV anime, live concert, card games, it's really beyond the doubt of mine as they're open a new chapter, making light novels. A brave move to explore new ways of attention. The story is barely exploring the story of Setsuna Yuki, so I won't expecting either dancing or having mid-term drama, but rather swinging flaming sword, as seen from the PV and the cover. It also feels fresh seeing the franchise making a move. I'm not surprised by it as how the mobile game Summoner's War also did the same thing, making light novel stories to improve their audience attention. If you're a Nijigasaki superfan, then this novel should worth your time. Then, there is the ongoing Toaru novel spin-off series, Toaru Anbu no Item, Volume 2. The story of course, focused on the dark side of the Academy of the Item Gang, now sets on a new job, targeting Honey Queen, a beautiful marriage fraudster who makes secret moves on the internet. In the midst of this, a certain someone makes an appearance as well. As a rare Toaru fan, I can tell where was this headed, even though I've heard many good things about it. But the spin-off focusing on the Item Gang is what makes it feel refreshed, especially how their fates were told. As much as I love how Kazuma-sensei focusing on spin-off, I would hoping that he really does makes more, as being told he will do another story, but not Toaru related, but instead a new Isekai story. Still, I'm hoping he does really had the desired goal to surpass Gwyn Saga. Because I really had it brought up in my previous video, to know he did it or not as of writing. If you're a diehard Toaru superfan, then this spin-off fits the spot. Next, is the ongoing novel series, Your Forma, Volume 6 by Mireho Kikuchi. As this story goes, it really felt like getting intense, everything was dark and peculiar science fiction, novel story. It's like imagine you're reading CSI or watching X-Files. The story is now has focused on the Alliance, where Talbot revealed existed were discovered, focusing Ichika to investigate the whereabouts of the chimeric virus. Furthermore, the relationship between the characters, from Harold interrogating Lexi Carter to the house where Ichika having conversation with the other two is absolutely stunning. But what I do like is the growth of Ichika from just being the girl to the woman all the way to Volume 6 is really beyond the doubt. There is also an anime adaptation announced just this July for the Dengeki Bunko 30th anniversary. Although there is no specific broadcast date to be announced, they did give away a fancy PV teaser, which it's a good hinting info to come. If you're a fan of science fiction stuff, then this volume will suit you best. Then, there is Danjo no Yuju Wasuritsu Suru Aya, Shernai. Flag 7. Demo, Koibito Nandakura Adashir no Koto Ga1 Ban de Yoani, by Nanana Nana. I do really the story this time, where two of the best girl gets tied up on the male character. Where both wanted a spotlight on him as Christmas is coming, which then eventually the other girl gave up the lover race to the one she likes. It's really interesting how a lover race can be from chaotic to eventually became wholesome, but sometime can be more a bit of a drama. Since it's still a romantic comedy. There is also an anime adaptation, which was announced last year. The specific broadcast date has yet to be announced, but Param-sensei did draw a fancy celebratory illustration to commemorate the announcement, which was nice. The studio this time handled the project was JC Staff, which presumably quite an average studio when it come to handling other adaptations, best at its best doing danmachi. The story overall is great if you're into romantic things. Do check it out if interested. Next is Sabikui Bisco Volume 9 by Shinji Kabukubo. This time, the story now revolved on Bisco, battling his future self, to prevent him from being eaten and thus obtaining the perfect form and rule the world. The story this time is really intense. If you're focused enough to know what's going in this twisted world. Other than that, the atmosphere in this volume was really colorful, with full of gears. You can see the sun at that horizon as well. Because of its promising performance from anime of the first season. A second season was then announced just also this July, with a fancy teaser poster revealed. Although there's no specific date of when it released, that was enough to expect more. I'd remember vividly this scene when the first was aired last year. Really grossed me out. If you're into a rusty world and wanted to try exotic things, then Sabikui Bisco fits the spot. And lastly is Brunhild and Kriemhild by Kuriko Higashizaki. The story this time took to a slowly turn, where the fifth queen's daughter, Kriemhild, also celebrates her coronation day with her determination to protect her kingdom. It's a bit bad of how Brunhild this time wasn't carrying the story, but it's Kriemhild having the spotlight. Still, it does good of having other characters to explore as it's really getting interesting. Moreover, as the winner of the 28th Dengeki Novel Award, there can be levels a story can be this spectacularly written. And as a reader of reading things with dragons in it, I was definitely intrigued of it. With the manga adaptation ongoing, there would be not doubt it will get an anime soon since this is really good. If you like it, do check it out. And that's all for Dengeki Bunko releases. Now, let's look at what other titles that will be released on August. This time, I've introduced several titles. Let's look at them. At Katakawa Books, I have two new titles. First up is the new cooking series, Reincarnated Girls 3-Star Recipe, starting as the assistant chef at the Cliffside Cafeteria, by Fukami Kocha. This new story is about a chef girl being banished from court cook due to a certain mischief. With that, she now ends up in a deserted diner, making a name for herself. With lots of cooking genres being made, this one obviously has my eyes to read as it really resembles the story of being a cook. I do also can tell how the chef really just gave its technique and perfection to making that amazing dish, as her mistress tasted it with delightfulness. With how the story progresses, I would assume this can be a one-shot story, but depending on how it goes in the web novel version, it does have a short chapter, making it into just a one-volume show. And after read this novel, I do really want it to go back to cook something, soon. If you do like a cooking story, then this one might fit for you. Next, is the new magic crafting story, i.e. Ooidasa Remashidaga, Genki ni Kurashite Imesu Kaitona Meho Tezens Chishiki de Kaitiki Benrina Second Life, or the English title, I've Been Kicked Out of My House. But I'm living well, a comfortable and convenient second life with cheap magic and past life knowledge. By Riko Seiki. This novel tells the story of Lyra, a reincarnated person who was banished to her parents' home and grew up strong in the frontier. As a member of the nobility, She entered the academy, but as soon as she entered the school, she started having troubles one after another. Quite odd, supposed to say, but ratherly intrigued as it didn't say she was reincarnated. But suffice to say she only was just kicked out of her family house due to being magicless. Regardless of that, the web version of the novel was quite attractive, so I would say there would be more stories to come. I would also assume there would some Yuri moments in it. If you do like it, do check it out thoroughly. Up next, from Ga Bunko, is the new novel, Tamina Yoru and I Kakeru Kuentu, Menamayan I Koi o Shita, or the English title, I Fell in Love with You, Running Through the Transparent Night, Invisible to the Eye, by Nanagashi Shima. The story tells Kakeru Sorano meets a woman. Her name is Koharu Futsuki. She is so beautiful that she stands out from the crowd, smiles a lot, and is the complete opposite of herself. She had that impression when she spoke. Initially. But she couldn't see. She still went to college every day, was interested in clubs, and made friends. Unlike him, she never gave up on anything. This novel, I think this wasn't a comedy but drama and a mix of tragedy story, because the woman is blind, which I'm kind of interested in it, not because of the blind, but how the male character handles the woman. It however really does an impressive job of making look like I'm reading a romance story, even though it's sometimes a little sad. Not to mention the fact that it has also won the 15th Ga Bunko Grand Prize, so it's an award-winning story, with the art by none other than Rems. If you like your taste in drama and in caring about people with disabilities, then this novel just might be the right spot. And lastly, from Dracom Novels, is the New World bulleting story, Rutilated Quartz Crown, Birth of a King Dash, by Eno Kishiram. This story tells a man named Slain, suddenly forced to succeed to the throne after being informed that he is the king's illegitimate child due to the sudden death of the royal family. This new volume is quite an interesting take to read, because it involves world bulleting and some revenge action. Because there's a war raging in it. The story also does look similar like Yujo Senki, because primarily by the illustration, it's war strategizing. Other than, the atmosphere in it was very tense. As the story progresses, it does looks it's going to have a few more volumes. So it would assume there would be more to explore for. If you do like it, do check it out. And that's all for today's video. How was it? What's your favorite in this lineup? I particularly expect the one from Ga Bunko because it really saddens me but has my attention. Other than that, the Dengeki Bunko lineup has also got me attracted, especially the Toaru spin-off. If you like this video, do please subscribe more great light novel contents. Until then, this has been Takashi and I'll see you in the next video, goodbye.